What's up, you guys? So there is so much tea spilling on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Mary Cosby and her husband slash step grandfather, Robert Cosby. So I'm just going to have to cover this story one layer at a time because there are so many layers to this mess. And when I say mess, that's my personal opinion. Anytime you find yourself marrying it and bringing into your family somebody that is already in your family, that's a mess in my opinion. So we're going to tackle one layer of mess in this video, and that is the alleged fraud. So to be clear, the following video is my commentary about what has been put out into the media regarding Mary Cosby and her husband, Robert Cosby. The first source is the Salt Lake City Tribune. The second source I'll be discussing is someone who was a church member of that particular church. And the third source is that church's website. So let's get into this commentary on what's been put out about this situation. It seems as if Mary and her husband slash step grandfather are all about the money and getting the bag by any means necessary, even if it means being fraudulent, allegedly. However, the court found Mary Cosby's husband, Robert, guilty of fraudulently forging her mother, Mama Cosby's signature. And then there's the alleged fraud going on at the church, with Mary alleging that God himself manifested himself first in her grandmother and now in her. Now, I'm not talking about the Holy Spirit that lives within us as Christians. She's saying God himself manifested himself in her and in her late grandmother. So we're going to tackle each of these elements one by one. Let's start with Robert Cosby being found guilty of forging his late wife's signatures on mortgages and deeds. Now, this is from the Salt Lake Tribune from January of 2005. So this is way before Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was even thought of. And it says a jury has awarded the estate of the late evangelist Rosemary Mama Cosby $1.2 million in damages, finding that a portion of the evangelist's fortune was fraudulently diverted after her death in 1997. The 8-member 3rd District Court panel ordered Bishop Robert C. Cosby, Mama Cosby's husband, and also Mary Cosby's husband and successor at Faith Temple Pentecostal Church in Salt Lake City, and church business manager, to pay the award to the estate representative Rosalind Cazares, one of Mama Cosby's 4 children. Attorney Edward McBride, representing Cazares, said Monday the jury's decision was a decisive victory in a 6-year court fight challenging Robert Cosby's and Johnson, the assistant's, handling of the multi-million-dollar financial empire that Mama Cosby left behind. He said it's not the end of the case, but it's the beginning of the end. There are still some other issues to fight out in probate court, such as whether Robert Cosby must personally reimburse the estate for legal fees. Questions also remain about possible redivision of Mama Cosby's estate in light of the jury's partial support for Cazares' allegations that her mother's signature was forged on various deeds and mortgages prior to her death from a heart attack in 1997. In his decision on Friday, the jurors found that one of 4 deeds submitted by Cazares at trial, a December 1996 quitclaim document related to a Zion Summit condominium, had been forged. It had been forged. And the court found Robert Cosby, that's the husband slash step-grandfather of Mary Cosby, the court found him guilty of forging at least one document related to his wife's death. Now, let's get into the church doctrine. The church members shared that Mary and Robert teach their congregation that God manifested himself in the flesh in both Mary and her grandmother, Mama Cosby. This seems to be a claim that they make in order to get money from their congregation. So let's get into what the church member said, and then we'll get into the confirmation of that teaching actually posted to the church's website. So the member wrote, "What Bravo will almost surely forget to mention as well is that Mary, Martha, and the bishop actively brainwashed their congregation into believing that they are God on earth, that God came down and has taken over their bodies, and that they are literally the saviors of the earth alongside Jesus. They call it the revelation. Before Mama died, it only pertained to her. But after she died, Mary and Bishop have taught that it's on them now. They have the church members running around yelling back and forth to each other, Mary is God, and rolling around speaking in tongues, going crazy over that nut job. Before Mary took over the church, the revelation was Mama is God, referring to Mama Cosby, but now it's Mary is God. And the only way to be saved in that cult is to get that revelation and profess it at every chance you get. In secret, and to each other, of course, because nobody wants a secret getting out to say the creators of the Real Housewives franchise. Now, it might sound very strange for someone to accuse them of saying that, you know, God himself, God the Father, manifested himself in Mama Cosby and in Martha Cosby. But on their website, it explicitly explains that they are not teaching mainstream Christianity. It says, God establishing through Mama a church of ministers as Elisha established a school of prophets. Mama teaching the ministers to be of one mind, going against, get this, going against everything that mainstream Christianity teaches and allow God to manifest himself in her, thereby showing us that it is possible and showing us the very essence of God, that as ministers according to the Bible, not what man states, but that we must live and be like Jesus. Not according to the error in 325 AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine, along with the bishops, the head of the churches, came together in Nicaea in agreement and took the church away from what the apostles taught and died for. Therefore, through Mama, God established a ministry with one mind, the Voice of God Ministries, back to the foundation. That is their doctrine, and they put it on their website basically so you know what you're getting into when you visit that church, so that you know they're not teaching mainstream Christianity. So you guys, leave a comment and let me know what you think about all this information that's coming out about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Mary Cosby and her husband / step grandfather Robert Cosby. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. And with all this information coming out, do you think Mary will be on the show for a second season? Because this is a lot. This is a lot. As always, thanks for watching. Alright you guys, I wanted to give you a quick little demo of how I use my graphic packs, my self-care wallpapers. You can use them as wallpapers or as your lock screen. And they serve as reminders to take care of yourself, that self-care isn't selfish. For me, my favorite one right now is this reminder to take a break, because I'm always so busy, especially as a mom. Y'all know my kids young, and so I'm always so busy, and this is just like a reminder that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to care for myself. So you can get your set right below this video. You'll see the link. As always, thanks for watching.